Hey there, welcome to LiveProg. My name is Marcel Huster. Yeah, it's the end of 2024 and traditionally, well, a lot of people present their year-end lists or do their year-end videos, and to my recollection, I've never done that because, well, usually I'm not busy with that, you know. I go throughout the year like, oh, I got some good music here. Oh, I got some good music there. Oh, there's more good music over there. And I don't keep track of everything. At the end of the year, I'm like, okay, I listen to a lot of music, but don't ask me what is my favorite or what not. I find that very hard. Yeah, that's why I'm also not very good at these ranking things, because I tend to like most of the stuff I have in my collection. I mean, if I don't like it, why should I have it, you know? That's my philosophy. I buy music to like and not to not like and just leave it there. Of course, it happens that there's an album that I don't play as much as others. All right, I'm digressing, of course, because the thing is, you are watching one of my year-end videos right now, so I have kind of decided to do it. Yeah, by chance, because like I said, I tried different things in this year with LiveProg coming back, so I figured why not do this as well. But I'm gonna do it with a little twist. First of all, this is the first part of a two-parter video, and in this part I'm going to look back on the albums I did not review, because I started LiveProg back again. Oh, I kind of revived LiveProg. LiveProg was already there, it never left. I left, that was the difference, but I came back and I revived LiveProg, and I had all kinds of ideas. Like at the beginning, it was like I bought music and I was like, oh man, this is great music. I'm going to do a video about that. And so that was my start in 2024. Unfortunately, it didn't really go that way. I didn't review as nearly as much. I think I reviewed, I forgot to look, but I think about 27. I have still a few albums that I will review before the year is done. I have a whole stack of CDs right here that I want to show you guys of all the albums that I kind of had the intention to do a review of, or at least make a video of, because of I was like, wow, this is amazing music, I really want to share it with you. The first one I have is this one. Yeah, Galahad, The Long Goodbye. This one was very important to me. Because when their previous album, The Last Great Adventure, was released, back then I was not back at LiveProg. Back then I was still not back in the prog world. Back then I was like doing other things. But that album came on my radar, and I was like, I was like, man, I've always enjoyed the music of Galahad, so I figured, you know, I want to have it. So I bought it, The Last Great Adventure, and I was blown away by it. It was such an amazing album. It's still absolutely one of my favorite albums ever. And that was like, that already planted this little seed in my mind. It's like, hey man, if I would have been doing LiveProg, I would have done a review of this. And that started working. So when this one came out, I was like, okay, I didn't get to do a review back then, but now I've kind of rebooted LiveProg. Maybe I could do a review now. And I had also the plan to do a connection with an interview with the band, because at the beginning of this year they played at the Boerderij. So I figured, you know, I'll go there, I'll do a review of the album, I'll do an interview with the band, finally do an interview with Galahad. That would be great. Unfortunately, well, the interview didn't happen. I didn't go to the show because, well, my wife had to go to the hospital, so I had to take care of her. So I missed the show, unfortunately. And I never got around to do the interview. So this is one, I'm kind of really sad that I didn't get around to do this one, because like The Last Great Adventure, this is also an absolutely brilliant album. Now, I have a whole stack right here, because, you know, I missed out on a lot of music. So when I got back, I was like, I want to catch up with the stuff I missed. I want to follow up the new music. So I bought a lot of albums in the past year. In the other video, I'm going to tell you exactly how many albums I bought. But anyway, at a certain point, I picked up that Dutch Music Works, which is kind of the store, the digital store for Freya Music, was doing a January sale. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because then you have good prices. I can buy a lot of music. And I can buy music from artists that I kind of know, but I'm not familiar with, so I can check out their music without spending a ton of money on it. So I bought a stack, and there were a couple of musicians and albums that I bought, I was like, yeah, I knew the people, and I figured I want to hear them. So, for example, Sebas Honing. I know his solo work is very good. I know his work with Equiza. He's an amazing guitar player. He's an amazing songwriter. So yeah, I figured this is really good stuff. These two, Mark Bogert, his solo albums. I was kind of familiar with it, but not entirely, because he did these early on, and I didn't buy them back then. So I figured this is a good chance to get them. And this is real. I mean, this is more like prog metal with vocals and with full band and everything. This is still kind of a full band. He had his Night Area friends, Gijs and Pieter, join in, and a few others. But this is really more guitar-based music, which is very good. He's working on a third album, and in the meantime, of course, he's done Mogoria, and he's doing so many things. He's really busy. I'm still trying to get an interview done with Mark Bogert, which is very difficult because he has so many things going on. But in 2025, it will happen. Well, I hope so. I really hope so. Another band that I kind of knew but never really listened to was the Aurora Project. And I listened to some music and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this one. This sounds really good. And this is, again, one of my favorite albums at the moment. There's another one, you can see it already. It's up here. This one I got as well. This was the only vinyl I bought in that sale. But again, I was really happy I got this one because, yeah, the Aurora Project kind of became a band that I became a big fan of, because in the meantime I also bought the first and second album, so I have all the studio albums. They got two more live albums that are on my list to get. And of course, in February 21st, somewhere in February, they're going to release a brand new album, Evo's 12. Which I'm very much looking forward to. So I'm really happy I got this one, because that put me on the trail for more music. Another band that I was curious about was this one, Tumbletown. Because I picked up that the guitar player on this band was Aldo Adema. And Aldo Adema used to be a part of Egden Heath. And Egden Heath is one of my absolute favorite vintage Dutch neo-prog bands from the 90s. I'm a big fan of them. So yeah, and I know he works together with Han Uil, and at a certain point also Eric Laan, a keyboard player from, amongst others, Silhouette, joined in, and they create some amazing music here. But Aldo Adema and Han Uil also were together in a band called 7 Day Hunt. I used to have that album, I don't have it anymore, and that's a real shame because I probably will never find it again. And there was one last album I decided to buy, that was this one, Skylake, which is really interesting. It's a great lineup, because here we have Bart Laan and Arjen Laan. Those are the sons of Erik Laan. So it's a very musical family, and they work together on this one with Charlie Veld on bass and Suzanne van den Engel on lead vocals and harp. And that was an interesting combination. And I was listening to this music and I was like, this is really special, this is really different. And so I figured, you know, I gotta have a copy of this album, and I did. But, you know, when I bought this stack, I was like, oh, this is so much amazing music, I want to do a video about it. I mean, this is not new music, this is not 2024 music, it's older music, but I thought, you know, at that point I didn't really care, I just wanted to do a video on it. That was my intention. I remember doing a short to announce that LiveProg was back with this stack, like, this is what you're gonna expect. And unfortunately that never happened, so yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Along the way, I also came across this one. I bought this one at Record Store Day in April. And I gotta show you why, because again, this is not a 2024 release. This one was released in 2023, but as you can see, yeah, this is very cool. But of course, you know, the looks is just nice, but the music is what counts. And I bought this because I have a record store here in Eindhoven where I come a lot. So much that when I meet one of the guys outside, they recognize me, and it's like, yeah, a lot of fun. But I was there and I bought a Steven Wilson album, and the guy at the counter, he said, hey man, if you like Steven Wilson, if you like Porcupine Tree, you gotta check out Inhalo. These are really good. So that got me thinking, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. The album is called Sever, and I'm really happy that I did buy it. But again, you know, my idea was like, I could do a video about that. Later on, the guys gave me a copy on CD as well, because I met them, I did an interview with them when they supported Cyan at the beginning of this year at the Pul in Uden. Evergrey, this was the new album that was announced, and again, you know, I really noticed that the past year my thoughts were like, hey man, this band got a new album out, so I gotta buy the new album so I can do a video about it. Yeah, so I was on vacation, and most of my vacation money ends up being spent on CDs. So I went to a store and I found it and I bought it, and I listened to it, and it's an amazing album. I'm really happy with that. The reason why I wanted to do a review of this album is because that was one of the last albums I reviewed for LiveProg in 2014, just before I stopped. And they had an amazing album out then. I did an interview, that was the last interview I did for LiveProg back then, with Evergrey, and that was a really amazing album with Tom Ricard, which was really cool. Well, of course, you know, those videos are still on the channel, they never left. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this one, but well, unfortunately, that never happened. It's a real shame. I would almost call this my list of regrets, you know, all the albums I kind of wanted to, but I never got round to it. Same as with this one, Arian. I mean, Arian has a special place in my heart, because, you know, I have a history with Arian way before I even started doing a LiveProg. Between 2000 and 2003, I worked very closely together with Arjen Lucassen, running his website, doing the fan club, doing lots of other stuff for him and with him. It was a really amazing time. When I stopped doing that, I kind of moved over to doing reviewing. I started out doing reviewing in 2003, and I kind of been doing that up to, well, at the end of 2014. So yeah, about 11 years I've been doing reviewing. I've moved on to different things after that, also reviewing, but a different genre, not music but books. And now I'm back at this. So but yeah, and I saw these shows, and I never had a chance to go to any of them, but I saw some clips of this one and I was so impressed. It's like, man, I gotta have one of these shows. In the meantime, I also got a copy of the Electric Castle show, which is really awesome, but this one also is very awesome. And again, you know, I had the idea I'm gonna do a review of this one. This one, maybe not necessarily the idea of doing a review on it, but at the same time, maybe yes, because I picked up, because I started to follow Mark Bogert again, and I picked up on Mogoria, and then I picked up on Edward Rekers, because I completely missed that. And then the Liberty Project, and I was like, I've been listening to some pieces of it, and it's like, wow, this is really awesome. So I had a chance to see the last show of the Liberty Project at the Boerderij. Wow, that was incredible. That was really incredible. So I also got a copy of the album. And again, you know, I figured this is music that deserves attention. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I do these videos, why I talk about music in these videos, to bring this music to the attention of whoever is watching my videos, and hopefully reaching people who might not be familiar with it, or might think like, maybe they're maybe a little bit on the fence, and then they think, all right, maybe, you know what, this sounds like good music, let's buy it and let's enjoy it. That's what I always hope. So yeah, another one. A couple of other albums that I bought. And again, you know, they're not all of them. There are a couple of them that are from 2024, but I picked up this one, The Rise of the Medici from Imaginarium. I mean, Clive Nolan. I mean, I've known Clive Nolan for years. We've been good friends. I've worked with him a lot, with Alchemy. I did a lot. So yeah, I love the music of Clive Nolan, and I missed out on this one. It completely passed me by, so I saw it, I bought it, and I listened to it. Very beautiful stuff. And again, you know, well, same old story. Another one of these highlights that I picked up that I heard so much about. This is Bart Laan, Eric Laan and Arjen Laan in one band, father and two sons. And this is an incredible album. I had listened to it and I heard that it was good. I saw some videos of these guys playing live, and I was like, wow, these guys are really good. I gotta have a copy of this album. And I got it, but yeah, too bad, not a review of it. Same goes for these two. Because it's funny, you know. I'm after many years, I'm back in the prog world, but when I was back, I started to notice how many other bands had been gone for a long time, and then also came back with new music. And I picked up that Nine Stones Close also had been gone for a while. I don't know how long anymore, but they came out with a new album, The Urinal. So I figured, I gotta have that one. I've always enjoyed the music of Nine Stones Close. And I did an interview with Adrian Jones, well, way back in the early days of LiveProg. So I figured, you know, they got new music out. Maybe it's a good chance to do an interview with them. And a review, of course. Well, the review hasn't happened, the interview hasn't happened, but we've been talking about it. So in 2025, there might actually be an interview with Nine Stones Close on the LiveProg YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. The same as for this one. HMFC, Hasse Froberg Musical Companion. He's a great guy, they're great musicians, I love his music. So he had a new album out. This was a blind purchase for me. It was like, I gotta have that one, this is great music. I wanted to do a review of it. The reason why I didn't do a review of this one is kind of silly maybe, but I actually saw a post from Hasse Froberg on Facebook like, man, it's gotta be enough with all these positive reviews. And I figured, yeah, here I'm gonna go with my positive review. You know what? I'll wait till the dust has settled and then I'll do my review. Yeah, here we are at the end of 2024 and no review, sadly. Well, fortunately I mentioned it in this one. I've been buying up music for the reason to make videos of it because I wanted to have content. I mean, the world has changed. When I did LiveProg back in the days, 2010 to 2014, CD was the main thing. So all these bands kept sending me CDs. They were kind of, it was at a point where it was like, it was getting a job. It was not fun anymore. Now it's completely the opposite. These days CDs are rarely sent out. Everybody works with digital promos these days, but I don't like to do a review of digital promos. I did a couple. I had my reasons for that, but I found out that, you know, I usually just, you know, go out and buy my own CDs and then make videos of them. So that's one of the reasons why I went out to buy music. And I picked up on this band called Drifting Sun, and I knew they had a new album out. So, but I at the point where I was looking at them at the store, I kind of forgot the title of the new album. So I thought it was this one, so I bought it, but this was the previous one. So I still need to buy the latest one, but you know, we're too late for that. And yeah, I decided, all right, I won't do a review of this one, but I did enjoy it very much. So it was a nice discovery for me. Another album that I bought is this one, Perfuna Ocean. And again, this is something, I went to the Pure Reason Revolution show, I did an interview with the band, but before the show, I bumped into some guys and we had a nice chat. And it turns out that there were 3 of the musicians that formed Perfuna Ocean. And I was like, hey man, it's been a long time ago. So we caught up, had a nice chat. It was a lot of fun. We talked about music. And I was like, I completely forgot about them. So I picked up this album and I was like, this is a band that really deserves more attention. So that was like, I want to do a video of this one. But, you know, same old story. So now I'm showing it to you guys here. So at least it gets shown in a video. And I had a chance to do a show on prog radio, which was very cool. Got to play some Dutch prog, and of course I included a track of this album as well, because this is a really beautiful album. Perfuna Ocean, check it out. I really hope in 2025 they're gonna come back with some new music. Speaking of that Pure Reason Revolution show, they did a double headline show with Le Soir, a Dutch band. That was kind of new to me, so you know, I took the opportunity to do an interview with them as well. And of course, after the show, I decided to buy a copy of the album. Now, the interview is done. You can find it on the LiveProg YouTube channel. But unfortunately, as you can see, I'm showing it here. That means that I didn't get around to do a review of this album. In fact, I haven't even gotten around to really properly listening to this album, because I've been so many albums that it was like, oh, man, I can't keep up with everything. And I'm trying to give all the albums that I have enough time to, you know, settle in and get to enjoy them. Yeah, this one was also one that I kind of wanted to do a review of, Blind Ego, for the simple reason that I've never really listened to Blind Ego. I know RPWL, I know it's an amazing band, I love their music. And I know Kalle Wallner is doing Blind Ego. That is kind of his own project, his own band, and they had a new album out, so I figured, you know, that would be cool to do a review of. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to do it. I gotta be honest, I've been listening to this album and I'm a bit in doubt. I mean, musically it was really fantastic, but vocally, the singer that he chose is not really my kind of singer. The last one, a special one, Dilemma. Yeah, a beautiful album, The Purpose Paradox, yeah, with the band. Yeah, I got, you can see it right there, Random Acts of Liberation. I bought that, I don't know, 2 years ago. Again, you know, that's all part of me coming back into the prog world. I picked that one up and I really enjoyed it. Then they came out with this one. The Random Acts of Liberation was with Dak Burke on vocals. This one has Woodstick on vocals, who also sings with For All We Know, which is interesting because he is an amazing singer. So that was one of the reasons why I was really curious about it. And it works together. It's a phenomenal album. I got it very late because initially the band was supposed to do a show somewhere, I believe at the beginning of November at the Boerderij. I was planning on going there, but unfortunately due to the health of the drummer, Colin Leyenaar, that show was cancelled. It was moved to January. So, you know, that was for me like I wanted to go there, do an interview with these guys, and then of course combine it with a review of the album. But since that show didn't happen, the interview didn't happen, yeah, I never got around to do the review as well. I might visit this album in 2025 because they're doing the show then. So maybe, you know, second chances. Maybe 2025 will be a lot about second chances. Things that I didn't get around to this year, maybe I get to do them next year. That was something I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it's a lot of music that I really wanted to review, but I didn't. I mean, I had a change of job, which caused a lot of stress. I had some health issues, especially the past few weeks. I had a lot of health issues. I had family things going on. All these things, I mean, what I do here on LiveProg, it's a hobby. I do it because I love the music, because I want to share the music with as many people as possible. But in the end, it's a hobby. I don't get paid to do this. So whenever something that is more important comes up, like family, like work, or like health, yeah, you understand that goes first. And then when I have some time left, I get a chance to put on my camera and talk to you guys about music. Yeah, that's pretty much my video for now. The first part, looking back at the albums I didn't get to review. In the next part, let's talk about more positive, about the things that did happen in 2024. And of course, looking forward to 2025. I already gave a little bit of a hint, but I'll talk about it more in the next video. So thanks for watching and enjoy the next one.